Welcome to the Good News Show. I'm Ryan.
I'm Stuart.
And it's Monday. Happy Memorial Day to everyone out there. If you're joining us for the first time, the Good News Show, what we do is every episode, Monday through Friday, we focus on positivity. Today's episode is going to be focusing specifically on Memorial Day, why it's so important, and then we have an important challenge for you at the end of the episode.
Yeah. How are you doing today, Ryan?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited.
And like I know we are always laughing and joking and stuff, but just kind of right off the bat, we are going to be a little bit more somber and serious with this episode because, I think the first initial thing is, Memorial Day, gonna go to the beach, because the Good News Show talked about the beach.
Yep. No, I think it's true. I think if you ask anybody, if they were honest with you, and I'm being honest with you now, when you asked me that question, the first thing I was going to go to was the things I was going to do with my family.
Yeah.
And that's true. I think we as millennials, and we'll talk deeper about this today, but we as millennials especially have kind of lost the meaning of things.
Yes.
Like there are so many times throughout the year because
a lot of these holidays that were made that we celebrate today, we didn't create. They were created by, generations past that created them, like with Anna Jarvis.
Mother's Day.
Yeah, right? She created it out of passion and wanting it to be a day dedicated. And so a lot of these holidays were created by people that lived in the past that were so passionate about something, but they've passed on. Yeah. And, that generation, so it's kind of got lost. And now with holidays, we don't remember really why. It's just, it's a day off. And Memorial Day, I know it's like, it's Memorial Day weekend. Yes, we get a day off, and we tend to forget what Memorial Day is. And really, it's one of the days, and then that with the 4th of July. A lot of these, at least in the States, a lot of these holidays that are focused on the people that have given their lives for our freedom. The freedoms we get to experience in the United States are due to the sacrifice and the blood
of the individual. I think that's important.
Of an individual person that has said, I am going to go and put my life on the line. And Memorial Day specifically is to remember the people that have died in the service.
That's an important distinction that I think that I make the mistake of. We have two holidays in the United States, Memorial Day and Veterans Day. And doing the research, I realized Memorial Day is exactly like you said, for those that have passed. Veterans Day is for those that have passed and not passed who have served in the military. So those are two important ones. Keep in mind today, Memorial Day is, it's great to honor those who have served and they're very important, but this day is specifically devoted to those who have died for the country.
Yes. So what are some things that we can do as millennials or just as people to honor this day and give the recognition that is due for Memorial Day? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the wonderful thing about Memorial Day, which is honoring the individual, is it also starts with the individual.
Okay.
I think the first thing is your mindset. You could go through the motions and do important things, but if you don't have the right mindset, everything's ruined. And so I've noticed in my life, when I take certain days and think, okay, a certain thing is devoted to this day, I act different in that day. Yeah. My day is different in what I do, what I'm thinking about. And I think that starts with the individual. So as you're watching this video, if it's Memorial Day, it's thinking about those who have passed for the country.
So are you going to go camping on Memorial Day?
I'm actually going to be, I am going to be sailing in the San Juans, but I'm going to be with family, but that doesn't mean, again, it doesn't matter where you are physically, it's your mindset of what you're thinking about. And how you treat that day. And I think that's a day that, because of this research I did, we are going to actually, when we're there during Memorial Day, sit down and really talk about that. Talk about, having even just discussions is very valuable of what this day really means and what it means to each person. Because I'll be with my wife's family, so we've got 8 or 9 people on that boat. We're going to have different perspectives of what that means. And that's the conversation I think is important.
Yeah. I was thinking, I got into this mindset. I was like, okay, at Memorial Day, I need to stay at home and just kind of focus on
and feel bad.
But I just thought, I am so grateful for the people that have given their lives so that I have the freedoms I have today. And I would hope, I would think, and I have to be careful with assuming, but I would think that they would. It's like, please go enjoy the freedoms you have. But I like what you say, to sit down and have a serious discussion about it.
And maybe I got a good talking point. This is something we discussed before the video. A good talking point in this is when I instantly think of Memorial Day, when I think about actually honoring those who've passed, World War II, Vietnam War. But you brought up a good point before when we talked about this, which is The Iraq War is still going on. There are still casualties. We actually researched that there's 8 U.S. soldiers that have died since January 1, 2017.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good conversation starter, is saying like, hey, we're not talking about something, oh, honor this old past tradition. There are people that still are to this day
Giving
experiencing
their lives.
that, giving them their lives. So I think that's a good talking point when discussing with those, because we should put the disclaimer, like, I've never experienced war. People that in my immediate sphere have not.
No.
So we're speaking very much out of hand. But I think speaking as U.S. citizens and the importance of us taking it more serious, having those discussions, those conversations, I think is not only important but very healthy.
Yeah. And I would want to extend the invitation to anyone watching, with your friends, as you guys are going out, be that guy or that girl that when you guys are out, say, you know what, today's Memorial Day, and what are your guys' thoughts on those that give their life? Did you know that 8 people have died in the service? And your friends are going to be like, oh, what? Like, it's going to be weird for them.
And they may try to change the subject or whatever.
But be that person, and you don't have to force conversation, but be that person, and I think you will find people in your group of circles that are grateful that you brought it up. And
Yeah.
are like, you know what, thank you so much. Like, that is an important thing to do. And remember.
One thing I'd be interested in is if you're comfortable with this, share your comments in the YouTube comments below of ways that you can honor or ways that you have honored people in the past. Because if we spread this message of having the conversation and honoring them, you may have a suggestion on how we can better honor those who have passed that we just didn't think of. So
Yeah.
I think that's the great message, is start that conversation. This Memorial Day, a lot of people are spending it. A lot of people get it off. You get that day off. They're spending it with their family. Take that time to have that conversation.
So this is great. You can start now. Anyway, that's the invitation. Bring it up this Memorial Day with some friends as you guys are having fun and enjoying the freedoms that you have, and start the conversation and see what happens. So
Yeah.
thanks for watching. I'm Stuart.
I'm Ryan.
Have a good Memorial Day.